Well, hello. Welcome, everyone, on this wonderful Sunday evening. It is EJ, Brad, and Kai. And Kai is always editing, as you know, but he is always in the background for this concierge tip of the week. So, I want to welcome everyone in. Come on in, come on in. We have a good concierge tip of the week for this Sunday. We're going to be talking about something that's quite interesting, today and in general. Hey, guy. There he is. Hello there. All right, so we're going to be talking about something big today. So hope some people come in to join us. Come on in. All right. And if you don't miss this live, of course, you will be able to see the video anyway. So once we go after live, it's posted to our YouTube account and you can see it in replay. Okay. Now, I do have an announcement to make, though, that this will be the last concierge tip of the week that will be live. So we're still going to be doing concierge tip of the week, but it will be live after after today's live. We decided that we want to add more content as far as editing wise, a little bit more colorful for you, and I'll be able to do a little bit more just creating videos instead of going live. So we'll have the same, format as far as the tips of the week every Sunday, except for it will be videos that we will release and we'll schedule those videos. So you will know what time they will be scheduled. All right. So actually, they will be scheduled around 7 p.m. every Sunday. Okay. So with that being said, we are going to get started with today's topic. Now, consumers in this world, we always go to places to get service and we expect to have the best customer service, right? Whether it's the gas station or the mall, to one of your favorite stores or to a restaurant or to just anywhere, to the movies, anywhere in the world that you go to where someone is giving you service, you want to have the best service. So what is the best customer service? We're going to discuss a few things, and we're also going to discuss on the customer services point of whether the customer is always right. Being in customer service, I have been in customer service for over 35 years. So I have learned quite a bit. I've done everything from call center for Pizza Hut to working in a fast food restaurant for a brief time. Also doing hotel, front desk agent. I've been a reservation agent, been a concierge, as you all know. So in all of those different fields, you're providing customer service. So, I've always been told, the customer is always right. Customer's always right. Well, is the customer always right? You know, so to a point, the customer could be right. I'll say that. But there are times when actually the customer may not be right. But there are ways that you can make the customer feel like they are getting the best customer service and give them the proper information or answers that they may need. So we're going to discuss those things. All about how you present yourself to a customer or to a guest. It's all about the different things that you can use to become a better customer person. And for this video is also for customers or consumers or guests who will see a different point of view on the customer service side of it to become better customers. So with that being said, forgive me, I have a little scratchy throat. So with that being, we're going to get started and we're going to talk about the different things or resources that you can use when you're providing good customers. So first thing I want to talk about is your attitude. All right. So your attitude. Attitude is very important important. You have to have the right attitude in order to provide the good customer service. Even if your customer or guest doesn't have the right attitude, you still want to try to remain as professional as possible, have a good positive attitude, try to change the other person's attitude to a better one. I'll give you some examples. You have a customer that may come to the desk or come to wherever you're at and to the counter, and they're already starting off with a bad attitude. You're saying good afternoon or good morning, how can I help you? And then they're just being demanding, yes, give me this, in a kind of forceful way. Still provide your smile, still say, okay, no problem, sir, I'll be happy to help you, or ma'am, I'll be happy to help you. And then you provide your customer service. And in most cases, that person will, appreciate that and kind of change their tone a bit, But if you have an attitude and then the customer has an attitude, two wrongs do not make a right. It's just going to be a situation, and then you might create a a Karen situation, or or other situations. So you want the right attitude, whether and that's on both sides, being a customer or being the customer service individual. So you want to have the right attitude to things. Smile. You always want to, even if you're not smiling, you can smile with your eyes. So that is something that Tyra Banks told us about, smizing. So you definitely can do that as well, and it's just all about how you present yourself to that customer. All right. So all about good attitudes, people. All right. So we're going to talk about the next thing I think is very important, and that is body language. All right. So what I mean by body language, you can always let a person to tell what type of mood they're in. As an customer service person, you should never be standing there with your arms folded, with your hands on your hips, you know, kind of rubbernecking a little bit when you're speaking. Um, got your lips all pierced in, like, kind of with that type of tying in with the attitude situation, also not pointing your finger, kind of as you're speaking to a customer. That body language speaks a voice to people. So, you don't want to do that. You always want to have either your hands down to your sides, or, maybe folded in front of you, or on counter or desk where you are. But don't want to have them folded, because that gives a bad um, impression of what you may be thinking. So, and also on the customer side, they come to the desk already with their arms folded. You have to be prepared for what they might be trying, or what they're going to say next or do next. So, body language is important. And so I think the good thing to do is to, stand, make sure that you have eye contact with that customer. Make sure that you're smiling, of course, which ties into attitude, and make sure speaking clearly. When someone's asked you a question, you're absolutely, you're shaking your head, yes, absolutely, most definitely. Those are terms that I like to use. I'll be more than happy to, and you're shaking your head, as you're saying it. So that's body language. And also, too, if someone offers their hand to shake it, you want to make sure that you give them a nice handshake. So that are also good things that you, as a customer service agent or customer service professional. So body language is very important. All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about is empathy. All right, now empathy. What empathy is like when someone has a situation, especially like in a hotel where something may have been wrong with their room. They maybe have some water leaking, or don't water, or the room had dirty sheets, or whatever the situation is. You always want to empathize with that person. Put yourself in their shoes and say, "Oh, I apologize. I am so sorry for your inconvenience." If something happens where where there's a rip in some clothing that someone purchased and they're returning the item. You want to empathize with that person and be like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Oh, I know how you must feel. I'll be happy to take care of that for you. You say it with a smile. Oh, I apologize. Apology kind of go hand in hand, but you always want to make sure that you feel how the person is feeling, how the customer is feeling. You understand. And not necessarily, just like, oh my God, it doesn't have to be so aggressive with it, but you want to be like, oh, I totally understand how you must feel. Oh, let me go ahead and do some what I can for you, to make the situation better. You always want to empathize with that person, because you never know what they were going through that day. Even if they come to the desk and had a bad day, you don't know what they would have gone through. I'll give you another scenario of something like that when someone may have had a delayed flight or the hotel late, their luggage was lost, at the airport. And then they come to the hotel and they're already in a bad mood. So, then you say you don't have a smoking room or you don't have a king bed for them. So you want to empathize. I am so sorry, Mr. Such and such, Mr. Smith. I know how important it is, that you have the right bed type. Unfortunately, because of it being such a late arrival, I know that you had some troubles, but let me see what I can find for you. Maybe you might be able to upgrade them to a suite. Maybe you'll be able to do something else for them, give them like some bottle or a certain amenity, just to compensate them for not having what they asked for when they came to check in. You always want to try to make the situation better, empathize with them to make them feel a little better. So, once they do get up to the room, then maybe their attitude will change, kind of eases things a little bit, if you know what I mean. So, you also definitely want to empathize. So, the next thing that goes along with me is your listening skills. So, listening to the customer, listening to the guest. When you listen to them, let everything out that they're trying to say. Don't interrupt them. Just listen. Keep eye contact. Listen to them. You can nod during the time that they're speaking, but you really don't want to interrupt them. And you just want to listen to what they have to say. You empathize, and you can respond to whatever the situation is, and how you're going to solve that problem. So, listening is definitely important. Also, customer side, customers, when you come in, guests, when you go into certain places, listen to what the customer service person is telling you before you fly off the handle. You know what I mean? Listen to what they're telling you, because you may have missed what they actually were trying to resolve for you because you're angry or so frustrated. So, listening is very important, and it goes both ways, because let's face it, we're all individuals, nobody's perfect, but you want to try to make situations better. You want to try to make the experience better for people. And that helps you be a better person, better customer, or the better customer service expert. All right, so we're going to move right along, talk a little bit about verbiage. So, how you're speaking to the customer, how professional you are speaking to that customer, what the words using, when you're talking to the customer. So, bad examples of that, of course, would be like, I would like chicken, please, some chicken fingers. Oh, we out of them. We ain't got them. What about milkshakes? We ain't got those. Like at a movie theater. I'd like two tickets, please, to such. We sold out. It's just the verbiage. Even if you can't necessarily help that customer, because if you're sold out, you're sold out. But it's just the way you say things. So instead of just being like, we ain't got none, or just be like, oh, I apologize. I'm so sorry, sir, but we're totally out of shakes for this evening. I'm so sorry, explain maybe why without going into too much detail. Oh, I'm so sorry. We are fully committed tonight. I have no, I'm so sorry. Or, just it's just the way the verbiage of how you present the situation. I am so sorry, sir, but unfortunately that movie is fully booked for that time. Maybe you can see the 10 o'clock show, something like that. And so you always either want to, say I apologize, or give them an answer, but say it in a way that is professional instead of ain't got none, you know, or say, hey, right now we are out of chicken wings, but I'll have some more in about 15 minutes, willing to wait. Things like that. Instead of being short answer with somebody, being short with someone, or, just saying the wrong thing. So verbiage is very important. And also for you consumers and customers out there, when you come into an establishment, like, give me such and such. Give me, I want a burger and fries, or give me, give me two of those. It's all about how you present yourself to the customer too. Remember, this works both ways. Verbiage is very important. Excuse me, yes, I would like to have two apple pies, please. Or yes, can I see that movie there right there? How much is that movie? Or what are the times for that movie? Just the way you say things to people, it works both ways. Never make a right, like I said before, but two rights always makes it better. All right. So verbiage, 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 you guys. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is problem solving. All right. Now, problem solving means that when you're dealing with a customer or individual at a guest at a hotel, I like to use hotels because that's what I really have a lot of experience in. But so I can give you better examples. But problem solving, say for instance, you have a guest at a hotel comes in and says that, they would like to do something special for their loved one. Do you have any roses that you have here at the hotel? Can you have anybody can make a cake? And can I make arrangements? And then you say, oh, I'm so sorry, but unfortunately, our bakery is for the day, or unfortunately, we don't carry roses. However, let me look to see what places I can find for you. There may be some places close by. Order the roses and have them delivered at a certain time. Give them another option. You know what I mean? Say, for instance, are there any Italian restaurants in there? Well, not in walking distance, but here's some that are maybe a mile or two away. And here's one of my favorites, things like that. If someone says that they wanted a cheeseburger, and you don't have any cheese, say for instance, then I'm so sorry, we are out of cheese right now. I don't have American cheese, but maybe pepper jack. Would you like pepper jack cheese? Something like that. Or, in situation, try to come up with a resolution. And of course, if you just cannot help them, if it's something that's just beyond your control, then you always go back to that empathy, apologize, and that way it kind of eases the blow, have something for them. But in problem solving, you always want to try to solve the situation. I always believe in turning the frown upside down. So you turn it into a smile. I've had situations where people came into the hotel very upset, or they had a problem, with their room, and it's been such, situations where I was by myself. So, I couldn't call somebody else to take something for someone, or, that type of thing. I do like to share this one story where I had a guest who, this was in Cleveland, Ohio, where I used to be a night auditor at a hotel third shift. Didn't have a maintenance guy or security person there, and there was a guest who his I was checking in some other guests. And he called to the and he said that the power in his room was out, like he had no power. So I explained to the guest that I was by myself at the the time, but I definitely will be there to help him to try to find the breaker. But I do need to call the maintenance man to find out where the breaker box is. I said, but would you like to the lobby and wait in the lobby until then? The guest said no. I said, well, as soon as I finish checking in these guests, I'll be right to you. Well, of course, he was a little upset and he was a little impatient. So I was on the phone. I finished checking in those guests and I was on the phone talking to the maintenance guy. Guest came down, cursing me out, called me every name possible. And it was like, aren't you going to do something? And so I told the maintenance man to hold on the line. And I said, sir, I am doing just that. I am talking to the maintenance guy right now to try to resolve your problem. I apologize for the delay, but I did state to you that I was working by myself and I finished checking those guests in. And now I'm helping you out. So I'm going to find the breaker is and I'm going to help you, okay? And he was like, oh, okay. So he moved to the side. I finished talking to the maintenance guy, found out where the breaker box was, went up with the guest, turned the breaker on, and then he had power. So he was so upset, and then he ended up apologizing to me for me out. And so he was like, I'm so sorry. I just was a little upset. I said, no apology, sir. I understand your frustration, but I'm glad I can help you get power. And is there anything else I can help you with? He was like, no, thank you so much. So I turned that anger into a smile, and he even apologized. Who does that these days? So that was something that was good. So that leads me to my point, which is quality of service. So, quality of service. So, that kind of ties in with what I just talked about because you want to always make sure that you're giving the customer or the guest the best service you can give them. And it may be as simple as just when you're working at a fast food restaurant, making sure that they have napkins, making sure they have their straws for their drinks, make everything is in the bag, asking them, do they need condiments? Making sure that everything is correct, making sure the bag is sealed properly when you hand it to them, making sure that you give them everything that they need. And that is quality of service. In a hotel, making sure they know about the breakfast in the morning, free breakfast. Let them know about the Wi-Fi, the internet service. Letting them know about the amenities of the hotel. I let my guests all of that information so they don't have to come back down to ask you any other questions, and they are fully informed. That's giving them the of service, that they deserve. When someone's going to a gas station, and they're asking for five on pump two, making sure that you got the correct pump for them, that you put the $5 on that pump, ask them, is there anything else that they need? That is very important too, is when you're giving service to make sure that you ask them, is there anything else I can assist you with? Is that all, sir? All right. And then having a good day, always making sure that you give them that quality of service. And that will customer feel better. You never know what you can do to make somebody's day, just by being nice. I had a guest one time give me a 50 tip just for being nice. I didn't do anything that was out of, above and beyond, but I was nice to him. I got all the information he needed. I checked him in fast and thorough, and it was just great. It was just a really great experience for him. And he said, you know what? I've been to many hotels, but you are really good at what you do. You're very thorough and you're very nice. I want to give you a tip. And he gave me $50. You never know how rewarding quality of service can be. You've heard of celebrities at different places, surprisingly giving someone a big tip at a restaurant, and it wasn't because they just felt like they needed to help that one, because believe me, if that server was nasty, they wouldn't have gotten that tip. But because they gave a service, then that celebrity said, you know what, let me go ahead and bless them today. Let me give them a huge tip. So those things go hand in hand. Again, you never know the power of providing good customer service. You know, even on a always remember this too, guys, is that if you're having a bad day, don't bring it to work. Whatever's going on in your life, it into your workplace because it always makes situations bad because it's going to reflect how you present yourself at work. You're about whatever the drama that's going on in your life, and it's going to pass on to that customer or to that guest. So you want to always make sure that you are providing the best service you can, that you are always being positive at work. And no, like I said, nobody's perfect. Been days when I've said, hey, this is not a good day. But when I get to that customer or that guest, it's like a switch comes on and I am that customer service. So is the customer always right? No. But there are ways that you can make these situations better because you can have a customer that will argue you up and down, that they are right. But you can prove to them that, hey, this is the situation, but this is what I can do. Hey, it's not necessarily true, but this is what I can do for you. This is what it is, and this is how we're gonna make things better. You know what I mean? I had a customer. I'll give you another example before I go for the day. I had someone that was cursing at me really bad, and it was really nothing that was done. He just was in a bad mood, and I said something that he didn't like as far as his accommodations, and I told him, sir, what we're going to do is we're going to start over. I cannot help you if you're cursing me out. Cannot help you if you're calling me names. Instead of me reacting to him and saying, what? I could have gave him, negative and rubbernecked and called him names. But I was like, you know what? We're going to start over because I cannot you're talking to me this way. So we're going to start over. Is that all right with you? And he was like, I know he couldn't believe it. He was just like, well, yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, start over, and then I'll be able to help you. And after that, that man was okay. That man spoke to me and was nice to me from that point on. So it's not what you do sometimes, it's how you do it, guys. And in closing, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. You need to like, you need to subscribe. And when you subscribe, you're going to hit that notification bell. So once you click subscribe, you're going to hit the bell, you're going to hit all. And that way you will get notified whenever we have videos. Once again, this is EJ Brad from EJ Brad and Kai. And we do have our own videos that come out every Monday, every Friday, and now every Sunday, we're going to have those recorded concierge tips of the week. Okay? So make sure you stay tuned because we have a lot more for you. All right, guys, stay well on this Sunday and every day and be good to each other. All right? And remember that although the customer's not always right, you can always make this situation right. All right? Take care. See you on the next one. Bye bye. As soon as I can turn this off. Bye, guys.